And you have in the last section of this book, like executing this, a delegate freedom system, to delegate. And you have 5 steps for putting this system together. You focus, you evaluate, you prioritize, you then hand it off, and then you get feedback. And I was wondering, can you run through those 5 steps? Like, just give me an example of, if you're going to delegate. Let's talk about Tom. If you're going to delegate something, how would you use those 5 steps in real life?
Yeah, I mean, in all my work with delegation, I found that there really wasn't a system out there that was like simple 5-step system to follow to think about how to do this. So
Yeah.
we created it, or I created this. So if you take Tom, like step 1 is focus. So getting back in touch with what he wants to spend his time on. Always starting with that, like almost like a ritual in the beginning of the week or beginning of your morning, whatever. Just getting in touch with that, visualizing it. I do a lot of work with meditation personally. So, finding ways to stay connected to that. So now we have a great frame of mind. Then we go into evaluate. And
Okay.
in evaluate, we're looking back over how we spent our time the last week. We're thinking about things that weren't the best use of our time, sort of using it as a learning exercise for the future. And then we move to prioritize. So in this phase, we're talking about, okay, we know what we want to spend our time on. We know what we shouldn't have been spending our time on. Now let's figure out what is the strategy for the week of our time,
Hmm.
and really building towards our goals and priorities, thinking about delegations within some of those, like we were talking about the 80% there. And then we move into the handoff phase, which is how I'm delegating it to my assistant,
Sure.
and following the best practices. And then feedback, I left as its own step, because that's how we continually get better and better and better at this, is like building feedback around delegation into a weekly meeting.